Leviamon, dog, alligator, or crocodile. Regardless, this is a really strong deck that has been topping in a lot of tournaments, and I'm finally getting a stab at it, so let's check out this deck profile. The level 2s, we're just running the Sunamon. When you trash a card from your hand by an effect, you get to draw one, which is perfect because we want to be able to draw our cards as fast as possible and be able to discard the cards that we need to discard to have in the trash. In this case, it would be Leviamon, so then that way you're able to play it from the Biting Crush. So Sunamon is our egg. Level 3s, we are running a hefty amount. You can cut some. Usually purple decks run less rookies, but this has been working out for me. We're doing 2 of the Sayakumons. On play for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw one, then trash one. So if your opponent has 2-3 Digimon on the field, when you play the Sayakumon, you end up drawing 2-3 cards. You do end up trashing, which is good because we do want to trash. And if you have another Digimon with Sunamon as an inherit, it will also trigger that effect as well. Then the inherit, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. 2 of the Gizamon, these are more of the Leviamon support. You could run those 4 and 4 if you'd like. It just really depends on your preference. This Gizamon has an on play until the end of your opponent's turn. One of your Digimon gains on deletion, lose 1 memory. It's helpful because then if you end up playing the Leviamon, you end up playing the Gizamon by an effect, or if you just played it, then when the Leviamon comes out, it deletes that Digimon, you get a memory back. Then the Leviamon triggers, you gain another memory, so you gain 2 memory. That's kind of the whole gimmick of this. And then the inherit is the same as the Sayakumon. When an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. I have to double check. 4 of the starter deck 16 Gabumon. Starting your main phase, if your opponent has a Digimon in play, you gain 1 memory. This is a very good effect, seeing that I don't run any tamers in this specific deck build. Then we are playing it for the inherit. When you do attack once per turn, you get to draw a card and then trash one. So it is perfect for that. I'm playing the restricted Gabumon from starter deck 6. When attacking, trigger draw 1. This one is now once per turn. So if you're able to unsuspend, which you can in this build, unsuspend, then you get to draw 1 and trash 1 again with that Gabumon. 1 Impmon from BT-6. It's not necessary. You could swap this out for any Sayakumon if you'd like. This one has an on play. You may trash 1 card from your hand. If you do, return one of your Digimon card with 7 Great Demon Lords or 3 Musketeers from your trash to your hand. So you could recycle the Leviamons from your trash to your hand if you don't have any and they're on the trash. And you want to Digivolve up until level 6 and you don't have any Biting Crush for whatever reason. 2 of the EX4 Gyomon. This card is actually nuts because there's a lot of ways for you to play Digimon level 4 or lower, which is why most of these cards, or half of these cards, have on-play effects because it triggers when you play them from the effects. So the Gyomon, if between you and your opponent, if there's 20 cards in the trash, you do get rushed for the turn. So when you do play it on that turn, it could be a killer. Good and bad double-edged sword. You will pay the 1 if you Digivolve in the Raising because you only Digivolve for 0 from the Digimon, not from Sunamon. We are running quite a bit for a purple deck, as I've stated. That's because you do a lot of trashing, and when you do trash, even if you just trash that Impmon, and now from an effect, you're able to play a Digimon from your trash, you get to play it, you get to trash another one, and now you get to, do whatever you got to do, which is why I only think 1 is necessary of the Impmon, because you're able to just keep recycling unless you don't see it from the deck, but because you are drawing a lot from the draw power, you will see it more than likely. So 4 of the Garurumons from the starter deck 16 as well. If it gets hit in the security, you get to play a Mat or a Gabumon from your hand or trash, which is very helpful. With that starter deck 16 Gabumon, if you end up playing it, your opponent's turn's over. Now they have a Digimon. Now you gain a memory from that Gabumon that was there. Really, we're playing it for the draw power here. When Digivolving, you draw 1. Then you trash 1 card from your hand. So when you do end up Digivolving, you draw. Then you draw again from the effect. And then you trash the 1. And then the Sunamon, since you trashed, you could draw again. So you drew 3 cards right there just for Digivolving and trashing 1. Then the inherit, 1 attacking once per turn. Same thing, draw 1, then trash 1. 2 of the overpriced Raremons here. And these are, might I add, proxies. I pulled 1 and I have no clue where it is. I went through all my bulk and everything, and I'm like, I don't even know if I pulled it or not, which is perfect why you need card vaults, if you haven't heard about it.
Hey puppy, are you finally ready?
For what?
We were supposed to watch our movie today?
Isn't that tomorrow?
No, you promised me a month ago today we'd watch Legally Blonde.
Like right now?
Yes, I have it set up.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Yay, let's go.
Don't ask.
Bruh.
Don't get caught lacking. They may be able to take you away from Digimon, but they can't take Digimon away from you. Build your own deck on the go, or, the couch, wherever. Download Card Vault today. So, the Leviamon. This card is also treated as a cyborg. Doesn't really matter unless you're playing Machine Dramon. On play and when digivolving, by trashing one card in your hand, you get to draw 2. That's actually pretty nuts. De-inherit when attacking by trashing one card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon, so it's good for the floodgates, because if you're trying to gain memory from the Gabumon, but you can't, because there's a Gazimon in the field, well, now you know how to... That's one way to get rid of it, although the Leviamons will get rid of it for you. It's just a good option. Why are we only running 2 is because of the evo cost. It's 3, it's a bit of a hefty thing, and a lot of times you do want to build up as opposed to just dropping them. And like I said, you're able to recycle. So if you have one in the trash and you're able to play one from your effects for level 4 or lower, I think the Dragomon allows you to do that, then you can just keep recycling the rare mounts where you really don't need 4 of. 2 of the Bakemon, which is kind of similar to the Raremon, but you're only drawing 1, where you digivolve and on deletion, draw 1, then trash 1 card from your hand. It is a 4 cost, so it's also good to just drop, and then retaliation. More of if you're swinging with the Leviamon, it doesn't die, but your opponent does have a Digimon that could swing over it. Well, now that retaliation is going to take it down with it, so it's pretty cool to have retaliation there. 2 of the Octomon, if you do want to run 4 of, you can. And sometimes I do want more than 2, but you could also recycle it by playing it from effects. This one has an on play and when digivolving. If there are 4 or more total Digimon, play 1 Fujitsumon token, if I even said that right, suspended in your battle area. It is a Digimon, purple, 3000 DP. It doesn't say what level it is, so I'm not sure if it's levelless. You guys can let me know down in the bottom in the comments. All turns, this Digimon can't unsuspend. On deletion, trash 1 card in your hand. Ideally, you want to have this effect played on your opponent's field, which then says, if there are 3 or fewer, play it suspended in your opponent's battle area. So it's really how you're triggering that Biting Crush and playing that Leviamon from your trash for free, which is from the Octomon, which is why if you want to run 4, rightfully so, you can. All turns, it has that same effect. Once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. 4 Dragomons. Now here is exactly how you're going to be able to play and recycle your cards from your trash back on the field. So on play and when digivolving, your opponent plays 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from their trash. Suspend it without paying the cost. On play effects don't work. That is a mandatory effect for the opponent, so if you digivolve, they have to play out a Digimon. Now it's 4 or lower. Then all turns, once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, you may play 1 purple Digimon card with a level less than or equal to it from your trash without paying the cost, and that is the key right there. Which, in a way, if your opponent kind of knows this deck and they kind of know what you need, like, okay, well, they need to play the Octomon and it plays a token, and now they bring the Leviamon out, they could choose to play level 3. So that's kind of probably the only downside of that, but at the end of the day, you're still playing a Digimon, and it does multiple of things. They play 1, so now you can trigger the Biting Crush, and then you play a Digimon. So then if you play the Guilmon while it's still your turn, now you can swing with the Guilmon as well. The Inherit here does give piercing, just a blanket piercing, so can never go wrong with that. Especially really good for this deck because you have the extra security attack +2, +1, so you want to be able to get through and check. 2 of the Waryu Seedramon. And this card is good. It's good. The reason why I run it at 2 is because you have to attack for it to proc its effect. So it's not like the Dragomon where you Digivolve and then it plays out, or your opponent plays a Digimon. Let's get into it. So this one alternates once per turn. When an effect plays an opponent's Digimon until the end of their turn, all of their Digimon gain on deletion lose 1 memory. That's pretty nuts. When attacking, your opponent plays 1 level 4 or lower Digimon card from the trash, suspended without playing the cost. On play effects on Digimon played by its effect don't activate. Then you may switch the attack target to this Digimon, which is pretty nice, because then if you don't want to kill your stack right when you swing, then really the purpose is, if you have the Biting Crush, you swing with the Warrior Seedramon, triggering its 1 attacking. They're forced to play, I think. Your opponent plays, yep. So they're forced to play a level 4 or lower. They play it, you trigger the Biting Crush, and now you can redirect the attack to the Digimon that they played, if it works that way. And then your Digimon will be safe, and then your Leviamon will be out. The Leviamon alternates triggers, and now you gain a memory, gain another memory from the on deletion, since it gets the alternates from the Warrior Seedramon. So it definitely has its good perks. But again, if you don't have the memory to, you Digivolve and now you pass turn, you can't swing, you kind of have to wait. And then the inherit is piercing as well, like the Dragomon. 2 of the Cerberus X-Antibody. This card is clutch. Digivolve for 3. On play, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying the cost. When Digivolving, draw 1, then trash 1 card from your hand. If a Digimon card with Cerberus is in its name, or X-Antibody in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, activate this Digimon's on-play effect. So that's actually pretty clutch, because then if you're able to Digivolve, go into the Cerberus, draw 1. If you draw that Guilmon, you go ahead and trash that Guilmon, right? You trash that Guilmon, trash it, and then if it has X-Antibody or Cerberus, which obviously it doesn't, but we run X-Antibody in this build, then you can play a level 3 from your trash. Bam. Now the Guilmon has Rush. Keep in mind, this is for the turn, so you could end up Digivolving so long as it's still your turn, then you're still able to swing with Rush on the Guilmon. So that is why we're playing the Cerberus, because it kind of has the same ability of the Dragomon, but as far as, you being able to play a Digimon, not so much your opponent. 4 of the Leviamon. I think it's actually read as Leviamon. Leviamon. I don't know, dude. Leviamon sounds like better, but it also sounds wrong. Anyway, Leviamon. Security attack +1 built in. Digivolve for 5, which is hefty. On play and when Digivolving, if your opponent has as many or more total Digimon and Tamers as you, delete one of your opponent's highest level Digimon, then delete one of your opponent's lowest Digimon. This is good for armor, so that's good for Rapidmon. If they have a Rapidmon on the field and that's their only stack, you actually delete the Rapidmon, the armor perch comes into play, and then you trigger the delete lowest, which would be the Terriermon. So you actually can get rid of the whole armor stack with the Leviamon, so it's actually pretty good. All turns when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain 1 memory for each Digimon deleted. So if you do end up Digivolving, paying the 5 cost, and you end up deleting 2 Digimon, you actually end up Digivolving for 3 if you gain that memory. Just keep in mind, if the Gazimon is there, then you still pay that amount. But then if you delete it, then you get the memory. So you could delete it with the Leviamon. 3 of the X-Antibody Leviamon. Digivolve from Leviamon, cost of 2. If not, you're going to pay the 6. That's dumb. But you have built-in security attack +2, so... Trash effect. All turns. When an effect plays an opponent's Digimon or Tamer, one of your Leviamon or Digimon with X-Antibody in the Digivolution cards may Digivolve into this card without paying the cost. And that's really what we want to do, unless you have to Digivolve for, the 6, and you could still win. When Digivolving, if your opponent has as many or more total Digimon and Tamers as you, delete one of their Tamers, then delete one of your opponent's level 3, one of their level 5, and one of their level 7. So you just gotta remember when you're playing this deck that your opponent has to have more Digimon and or Tamers than you to proc their effects. There's a lot of times when I was playing and I did, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to, get him. But then I had like 3 bodies and then he only had 2. I'm like, damn it. So be mindful of that. Other cards that are being played with this Leviamon can be Creepymon, especially with all the trashing that you do. You could tech in 1. Lilithmon, I've been seeing that, especially with the hefty amount of options that we do run with the Leviamon. So there's that. I did state I don't run any Tamers, so we're going to skip right into the options here. 4 of the Biting Crush. 4 is just a must. You just need to run it. It is a play cost of 8. When you play it, main effect, by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 6 or lower Digimon. If this effect trashed a card with 7 Great Demon Lords in a trait, place this card in the battle area. When an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, delay, you may play 1 Leviamon from your trash without paying the cost. So ideally, you want to play the Biting Crush, you want to trash Leviamon from there, bam, and kind of set yourself up. So then now, when you end up using the Dragomon Digivolving, or even if you Digivolve into the Octomon after, it's been a turn, or if you play it, then it's your opponent's turn, and then they, play a Digimon by an effect, then you're able to delay it. But if not, these 2 will help you get the Leviamon for free by delay, and then you just play the Leviamon, and then bam, you just go out of town. It's actually really nuts. 3 X-Antibodies. I was running it at 2. I wanted to see it more, especially because we're doing the Cerberus X-Antibody, and sometimes you do want to attack. So if you are able to attack, you can kind of just, if you have the X-Antibody underneath, you do trigger it's when Digivolving the last part, where if you have X-Antibody, you could play a level 3 purple Digimon. So now if it's still your turn, you can go ahead and play that Guilmon, and then you can swing again if you just need those last 2 checks, and you have 3 memory to do it after you Digivolve with the Cerberus. So that's an option for the X-Antibody. The other one is, of course, obviously, it is to play the, where the hell did I put you? When you're attacking, go into the Leviamon X. So if you under Cerberus, you have the X-Antibody there. You swing with the Cerberus, activate the X-Antibody when attacking. Yes, it's going to be costly at 6, but then you're going to go out of town on wiping board. And then, correct me if I'm not mistaken, but you should be able to do the Cerberus X-Antibody when attacking, right? Because you trigger the X-Antibody first, you Digivolve, and then you can trigger this one. I'm not too sure. Let me know. It is to go into the Leviamon and just go out of town and start swinging. So that is why we're running 3. The X-Antibody, if you don't know what it does, I'm sorry, I should have probably started with that. If you have a Digimon in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. Security, if it gets hit in the security stack, you gain a memory. So it's kind of like a Hammer Spark, that it's only 1, which can be good because if they're a 0, it ends up passing to your turn. Could be bad because now you're at 1 though. Then it goes into your hand. And then main effect, place this card under one of your Digimon without X-Antibody in its Digivolution cards, as its bottom Digivolution cards. Then once it's under, all turns, effects can't trash X-Antibody in this Digivolution card. So it's pretty good, like against Jellymon that does trashing. It won't be able to trash the X-Antibody when it tries to trash. And then the one attacking, this Digimon can Digivolve into a Digimon card with X-Antibody in its trait in your hand for its Digivolution cost. So it's just more, again, being able to, if you're at 0 with the Cerberus, and you do want to attack with the Levia X, or even if you already have the Levia, and you want to just end up, you don't have enough memory to Digivolve and then swing, that's where the X-Antibody comes in handy, where you can just swing, Digivolve, and your attack still goes through. 2 of the purple memory boost, memory purposes, I don't know what else to tell you. Able to play Biting Crush for a little cheaper instead of 8. Go through your deck for 4 cards, and then delay a turn after you played it. Then you can gain 2 memory by trashing it. 2 of the Wisdom Training. So I'm kind of half and half with these. It's up to you. You could run 4 of Wisdom Training if you don't want to do purple training, but I've been liking the split. So reveal top 2 cards, add a purple card among them. The other one goes to the not to the trash, to the bottom of the deck. And the delay, you're able to reduce the Digivolution cost by 2, which could be good if you're going from Levia to X, because does cost 2. So now it's for free. So that's an option there that you do have. Then the security places card in the battle area, same thing as a purple memory boost. Then Tool of the 7th Lightning. If you don't need to run 2, I just like 2 because you're able to see it often and it helps you with popping things on the board. Trash effect, all turns. When one of your Digimon digivolves into Leviamon, X-Antibody, by returning this card to the bottom of the deck, delete one of your opponent's level 4 and one of their level 6 Digimon. Keep in mind you need to have this in the trash in order for it to activate. But it's just nuts, being able to just pop Digimon just by digivolving. Main effect, by trashing one card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 and one of their level 6. So you're just able to do it, this main effect from the trash, if you can't, hard play it. Security effect, you activate the card's main effect. There is no real way to recycle this one. And then if you do it, end up activating the trash effect, it goes back to the bottom of the deck. And then if you want to see it, well, you kind of have to go through the whole deck, which could take a few turns, more than a few turns. So that's why I am sticking with the 2. Leviamon is a force to be reckoned with and has been topping consistently. And I will be posting on how to counter this Leviamon deck. Until then, watch these, and I'll see you then.